Her phone lit up at 1 a.m. with his name, not mine. That was the moment my marriage turned to ash. If this story stirred something in your heart, give it a like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe to Revenge Forge, where every story reminds us that pain can lead to power. I'm Shane Ridley, 40, a project manager at a construction firm in Raleigh, North Carolina, pulling in $195,000 a year. My wife, Jillian, 32, owns a boutique catering company, serving upscale events for Raleigh's elite. Her business clears $500,000 annually, a showcase of her charm and hustle. We've got a son, Owen, 7, with her hazel eyes and my knack for building things. Our life was a polished snapshot. A brick home in North Hills, a backyard fort for Owen, and a college fund we'd started before he could walk. Jillian and I met at a food truck rally, her laugh hooking me like a baited line. I proposed under a string of lights at a vineyard, and she said yes with a grin that stopped my heart. We were rock solid, until we weren't. My job was about execution, overseeing builds, hitting deadlines, keeping crews on track. Jillian was the flair, her menus turning galas into legends. I loved her drive, even when it meant late-night tastings or her phone buzzing past midnight. I took on Owen's Lego projects, grilled hot dogs for his playdates, kept the home front tight. We synced. But 9 months ago, the gears slipped. Jillian grew distant, her warmth fading like a summer dusk. She'd roll in after 10 p.m., her kisses curt, her eyes glued to her phone. "Client chaos," she'd say, brushing me off. I'd ask, "Need a hand?" She'd shrug, her smile forced. "Just work, Shane. You get it." But I didn't. The first clue was a scent. Cologne, rich and sharp, on her coat. I dismissed it, blaming my site visits for paranoia. Then came the late nights, her event prep dragging past 1 a.m. She'd glide in, heels dangling, smelling of bourbon and that damn cologne. Our evenings, once spent planning Owen's school crafts or binge-watching thrillers, became her texting in the dark. Her fingers quick, her face glowing with a secret I wasn't in on. I'd try, "Good day." She'd nod, "Too fast." Swamped Shane. But her spark was reserved for someone else. The real gut punch hit at 1 a.m. Owen was asleep, Jillian in the shower. Her phone buzzed on the counter, Sean Wickham. A text? "You're my rush." My blood froze. Sean was a venture capitalist, a client she'd met at a charity gala. I'd met him once. 38, all swagger, his cufflinks glinting, his gaze lingering on Jillian. I didn't touch her phone. Not yet. But that name was a spark, and it wouldn't fade. Things snowballed. Jillian's style shifted. Tighter dresses, flashier heels, perfume that cost more than my boots. She'd wave off my compliments, saying, "It's for the business, Shane." But her eyes didn't light up for me. At a friend's cookout, I caught her giggling with Sean, her hand brushing his shoulder, their vibe too close. Owen tugged my jeans, asking for a soda. I grinned for him, but inside, I was counting every touch. I'm a project manager. I don't lash out, I plan. Jillian's late nights, locked phone, the cologne. It was a blueprint of betrayal. I started tracking. Not stalking, just noticing. Her laptop was always open, emails flowing. One night, while she was at a tasting, I saw a notification from Sean. "Same suite tomorrow?" My gut twisted, but I stayed cool. I needed concrete, not hunches. The concrete came during Owen's school play. Jillian was tied up with a client. So I went alone, clapping as Owen played a pirate. After, I checked her Instagram. A story. A selfie with Sean at a rooftop lounge, her smile brighter than I'd seen in months. I saved it, my hands steady. That wasn't a client meeting. That was a date. I drove home, Owen singing in the back seat. My jaw clenched. I wasn't breaking. I was building a case. The next blow landed at a dinner Jillian hosted for her team. She invited Sean, called him a key investor. I grilled steaks, poured wine, played the good husband. Owen was at my mom's, leaving me to watch Jillian and Sean trade glances across the table. He was all polish, toasting her genius. She glowed, her laugh slicing me. Then he said it, his tone smug. Shane, you're a lucky man. Jillian's a star. I smiled, my grip tight on my glass. Luck's not the word, I said. It's trust. Jillian's smile faltered. Sean's eyes flicked away. The air shifted, but they laughed it off. I didn't. After dinner, I cleared dishes while they lingered in the dining room. Their voices low, her giggle too familiar. I didn't confront them. Instead, I dug deeper. Jillian's laptop was still logged in. I found bank records, $30,000 a month to Sean's firm for consulting services. No contracts, no receipts, just cash draining her business. My manager brain saw the scam. This wasn't love. It was a heist. The final straw came at Owen's school. His teacher, Ms. Larson, pulled me aside after a baseball game. Owen's been quiet, she said. He asked if you and Jillian are splitting up. My chest ached. We hadn't fought, not out loud, but kids feel the fault lines. I thanked her, promised to check in, and drove home with Owen humming in the back seat. That night, I sat him down. You okay, buddy? I asked. He shrugged, clutching his Lego ship. I saw Mommy smiling on her phone. Not with you. His words were a blade. I hugged him, said, we're sorting it out, but I wasn't sure we could. I kept Jillian in the dark, letting her think I was blind. She kept up the act, kissing me goodbye, planning Owen's birthday, but her eyes betrayed her. I reached out to a buddy, Nate, who knew Raleigh's venture capital scene. Check Sean Wickham's deals, I said. Something's dirty. Nate promised to dig. The last blow was a text I wasn't meant to see. Jillian was in her office, door ajar, her phone buzzing at 2 a.m. Sean, you're worth every risk. I didn't open it, just stared, my blood pounding. I packed a bag for Owen and me, called my sister, Clara, and said, we need to stay with you. She didn't ask why, just said, come over. I left a note for Jillian. Taking Owen to Clara's. We need time. No accusations, just truth. I drove through the night, Owen asleep, his Lego ship in his lap. Jillian's lies were a project I'd dismantle. But first, I'd secure my foundation. Owen's heart and mine. Clara's guest room in her Cary townhouse was a refuge. The hum of cicadas outside softening the chaos I'd left in Raleigh. Owen slept on a pull-out couch, his Lego ship clutched tight, his steady breaths anchoring me. I sat at the kitchen table, my laptop open, Jillian's text stacking up like a debt I wasn't ready to collect. Shane, where are you? I'm sorry, we need to talk. Owen needs me. I didn't reply. Silence was my hammer, and I was forging a plan with the precision of a man who'd built skyscrapers. Morning came and I got Owen to school, his backpack slung over one shoulder as he waved from the bus stop. I drove to a coffee shop, its exposed brick walls grounding me, and called Nate, my friend in Raleigh's venture capital scene. Sean's deals are a house of cards, he said, his voice low. He's using Jillian's payments to prop up a failing winery project. No investors, no permits. Her $30,000 a month is the only thing keeping it afloat. My grip tightened on my mug. She's in on it? I asked. Nate paused. Can't say. Either she's his mark or she's playing dirty. I'll dig deeper. I thanked him, my mind racing. Jillian's catering company was her crown, netting $450,000 a year. Was she torching it for Sean, or part of his hustle? Jillian didn't let up. She showed up at Clara's that afternoon, her face bare, eyes shadowed, no trace of her Gala Queen gloss. Shane, let me see Owen, she said, standing on the steps, her voice cracking. I leaned against the railing, arms crossed. He's at school. Saturday, my terms. She nodded, biting her lip. I'm trying to make this right, she said. I didn't flinch. Start with the truth, I said, turning away. Her car lingered in the driveway, but I didn't look. I had a project to manage. Owen was my foundation. That night, I took him to a go-kart track, his eyes bright as he raced, his laughter easing the knot in my chest. Can Mommy come next time? He asked, clutching his trophy sticker. I forced a smile. We'll see, buddy. His question stuck, a reminder of what I was fighting for. Owen deserved his mom, but Jillian's lies were a barrier I couldn't cross. Not yet. I tucked him in, his Lego ship beside him, and vowed to keep his world steady. Nate called the next day, his tone urgent. Sean's winery is a front, he said. He's funneling Jillian's cash to pay off debts from a busted real estate deal in Charlotte. No contracts, just wire transfers. She's not listed as a partner. My blood ran cold. She's being played? I asked. Nate hesitated. Maybe. Or she's covering her tracks. I found an email. She told Sean to keep her name out of it. Smells like a dodge. I thanked him, my bourbon untouched. Jillian wasn't just cheating. She was either a fool or a fraud. I didn't confront her. Instead, I dug deeper. Jillian's laptop was synced to her cloud, and I had her old login from helping with her business setup. Late at night, I found more payments, 90,000 total, wired to Sean's accounts. No invoices, just vague labels like event services. My project manager brain screamed. This was a grift, and Jillian was either the victim or the accomplice. I saved everything, backed it up, and kept my moves hidden. The first twist came at Owen's baseball game. Jillian showed up, cheering from the bleachers, her voice hoarse when Owen hit a single. She brought him a Gatorade, ruffled his hair, stayed for every inning. I watched from the sidelines, looking for the lie. She caught my eye, offered a hesitant wave. No heels, no perfume, just Jillian trying. Owen ran to her after, hugging her tight. I let it happen, but my guard stayed up. Her text to Sean, "You're my rush," still burned in my mind. Then Nate dropped a bomb. Sean's married, he said over coffee at a strip mall cafe. Wife's name is Harper, 1 kid. Lives in Durham. I froze, my cup halfway to my mouth. Married. Nate nodded, pulling up Harper's social media. There she was, mid-30s, smiling with a toddler, Sean's arm around her in a park photo. My stomach churned. Sean wasn't just cheating on Jillian, he was betraying another family. I took a sip, my voice steady. Keep this quiet, I said. Nate nodded, reading my tone. I reached out to Harper through a discreet message. I'm Shane Ridley. We need to talk about Sean and my wife. She replied the next day, agreeing to meet at a diner halfway between Raleigh and Durham. Harper was no nonsense. A pediatric nurse with tired eyes and a firm grip. We sat in a corner, Owen and her son coloring nearby. I knew he was straying, she said, her voice low. But not this deep. I showed her the texts, skipping the lounge selfie. Didn't need to hurt her more. She scanned them, her jaw tight. What's your play? She asked. I leaned back. No destruction, just exposure. They don't walk free. She nodded, handing me her lawyer's card. Let's trade what we find. Back at Clara's, Jillian kept showing up for Owen. She brought him a new Lego set, sat with him at the park, helped with his math homework. I watched her shift. Not into the Jillian I'd loved, but into a mom fighting for her son. Owen's smile was brighter, his questions about mommy moving out quieter. I couldn't deny her effort, but every time I looked at her, I saw that rooftop photo, her smile for Sean. The second twist hit at a corporate gala Jillian had catered, one she insisted I attend, saying it'd be good for Owen to see us together. I went more to watch her than to play nice. The venue was stunning, her work undeniable. Sean was there, all charm, shaking hands like a kingpin. Jillian introduced us, her voice too bright. Shane, you know Sean? He grinned, his handshake slick. Good to see you, man. Jillian's a genius. I nodded, my smile cold. She's one of a kind, I said, my eyes on hers. She looked away. During the gala, I caught them in a side room, their voices low. This has to end, Sean, Jillian said, her tone firm. It's over. He laughed, low and cruel. You're tied to me, Jillian. Walk away and your business sinks. I stepped back, unseen, my pulse pounding. Was she breaking free or playing a deeper game? I didn't interrupt. I just logged it, another piece of the puzzle. Nate called late, his voice tense. Sean's winery project is a shell, he said. The debts he's paying off? They're tied to a shady lender in Charlotte. Jillian's money's keeping him afloat, but she's not on the books. My grip tightened on the phone. She's a victim? Nate paused. Maybe. Or she's hedging her bets. Hard to tell. I thanked him, my mind spinning. Jillian's business was at stake, and Sean was holding the strings. I didn't confront her. Instead, I contacted Harper again, sharing Nate's findings. Sean's in deep with bad people, she said over coffee. My lawyer's building a case, fraud, maybe extortion. You in? I nodded. Not for me. For Owen. She smiled, faint but real. For my kid, too. Jillian asked to take Owen to a science museum the next day. I agreed but tagged along, keeping my distance. Owen darted between exhibits, Jillian trailing him, her laughter soft. She looked at me once, her eyes searching. I'm trying, Shane, she said. I nodded, my voice flat. Keep trying. I didn't tell her about Harper, the lender, or the trap I was setting. Not yet. That night, Harper texted. Sean's meeting his Charlotte contact tomorrow. Raleigh, 6 p.m. He's pitching the winery project. I saw my chance, not a brawl but a surgical strike. I called Nate. Get me eyes on that meeting, I said. He hesitated, then agreed. It's risky, but I know a guy. Be sharp. I hung up, my jaw set. Jillian's lies, Sean's scam, they were about to hit a wall. I wasn't breaking anything. I was rebuilding justice, brick by brick. For Owen. For me. For the truth. The Raleigh skyline shimmered beyond the warehouse's grimy windows, a mosaic of ambition under a starless sky. I stood in the shadows of Sean Wickham's meeting with his Charlotte lender, my blazer pressed, my face carved from granite. Sean's voice echoed, pitching his winery project with slick confidence, charts glowing with fake projections. Jillian's money, 90,000 of it, was the fuel for his lie. My phone held the evidence. Texts, bank records, Harper's lawyer's dossier. This wasn't about vengeance. It was about execution, like nailing a deadline on $1 million build. One move and Sean's scam would collapse. Nate's contact, a lean guy named Vince, had slipped me in through a back door. Keep it tight, he whispered, pointing to a stack of crates. The warehouse was dim, lit by a flickering bulb, Sean's pitch cutting through the musty air to a man in a tailored suit. Hard eyes, no smile, flanked by two goons. This winery's a cash machine, Sean said, gesturing to a slide of lush vineyards. Jillian's investments just the start. I recorded every word, every lie, my pulse steady. This wasn't just a con. It was a high-stakes gamble, and Sean was betting Jillian's future. I didn't disrupt. I sent the recording to Harper's lawyer, then slipped out, the city's pulse syncing with mine. By morning, X was alive with murmurs of Sean's failed pitch, a Reddit stories thread dubbing it the stealthiest takedown of a hustler yet. The lender bailed, leaving Sean's winery project dead. I didn't gloat. Justice wasn't about ego, it was about balance, and the scales were shifting. Jillian called at 5 a.m., her voice quaking. Shane, what happened? Sean's losing it. I was at Clara's, Owen asleep, his Lego ship by his side. I exposed his game, I said, my tone cold. Your business is safe. No debt to me. She was quiet, then whispered, I didn't know he was crooked. I didn't respond. Her tears didn't move me, not after the lies. Harper texted an hour later. Sean's winery's toast. He's dodging creditors. I felt no thrill, just a nod to the truth. Sean's empire was crumbling, but Jillian's was teetering. She'd funneled 90,000 into his scam. Cash her catering company couldn't spare. I didn't want her destroyed, just accountable. I called my lawyer, updated the divorce papers but held off filing. Owen was my North Star, and I needed to see Jillian's next play. She showed up at Clara's that afternoon. No makeup, eyes hollow, just jeans and a worn sweater. I'm selling the company, she said, standing on the porch. It's poisoned. I'm starting clean for Owen. I leaned against the door, skeptical. And Sean, she shook her head. He's gone. I cut him off last month. She showed me an email to Sean. No more money. We're done. Sent 3 weeks ago. I studied her, searching for the lie. Why should I believe you? I asked. She met my gaze. You shouldn't. But I'll prove it. Jillian started proving it. She showed up for Owen's baseball games, cheering until her voice cracked, bringing his favorite granola bars. She helped with his science project, sat through his school play, even fixed his bike chain. I watched her change. Not into the Jillian I'd loved, but into a mom fighting for her son. Owen's drawings at school shifted. No more jagged lines, just a family holding hands. I couldn't ignore it, but trust was a bridge too far. That rooftop selfie, her smile for Sean, still burned in my mind. The first twist came from Nate. We met at a dive bar, his laptop open. Sean's winery wasn't just a scam, he said. He was using Jillian's money to cover bets on a crypto trading platform. Unregulated, high risk. Her cash was his safety net. My jaw tightened. She knew. Nate shrugged. Unlikely. I found an email. She asked Sean to manage the investments discreetly. Could be cover, could be naivety. I leaned back, processing. Jillian wasn't just a mark. She'd been a pawn, maybe willingly. I didn't confront her. Instead, I shared Nate's intel with Harper. Sean's crypto bets are tanking, she said over the phone. My lawyer's working with the feds, fraud, maybe money laundering. Jillian's clear, but she's a witness. My stomach dropped. She's safe. Harper paused. If she testifies, you holding up? I nodded, though she couldn't see. For Owen, yeah. We weren't allies, just two people cleaning up the same wreckage. The second twist hit at Owen's school. His teacher, Ms. Larson, called me in after class. Owen wrote a story, she said, handing me a paper. It was about a boy whose parents hid secrets. My chest tightened. He mentioned a man visiting, Ms. Larson added, her voice gentle. He called him Sean. My blood chilled. When? She hesitated. Last week. I thanked her, my hands steady but my mind racing. Jillian had sworn Sean was gone, but Owen's story suggested otherwise. Was she lying again? Or was Sean still circling? I didn't ask Jillian. Instead, I checked Owen's tablet, synced to our family cloud. There was a video timestamped 10 days ago. Jillian and Sean in our driveway arguing, Owen filming from his window. You used me, Jillian said, her voice sharp. Sean smirked. You loved every second. I saved it, my project manager brain kicking in. Sean wasn't just a con man, he was a predator, refusing to release his grip. I met Jillian at a park the next day, Owen playing nearby. Sean was at our house, I said, my voice low. After you said it was over. Her face paled, her hands shaking. He showed up, Shane. I told him to leave. Owen wasn't supposed to see. I showed her the video. He did. Her eyes filled with tears. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm trying to fix this. I didn't respond, just watched Owen slide, his laughter a tether. Fix it for him, I said, walking away. The third twist came from Harper's lawyer. He called, his tone brisk. Sean's in custody, he said. Feds caught him trying to flee to Atlanta. Jillian's payments are part of the case, but she's not a target. My shoulders eased, but only slightly. She's safe, I asked. He nodded. If she testifies, she's meeting prosecutors tomorrow. I thanked him, my mind spinning. Jillian was clear, but her choices had chained her to a criminal. Jillian cooperated. She handed over emails, bank records, even the driveway video Owen filmed. Her company sold for a fraction, enough to settle debts but not her pride. She took a job managing events for a local charity, a humbler gig, but honest. She kept showing up for Owen. Every game, every school event, every bedtime story she could. I let her under my watch. Owen's smile was my guide. The final twist came at Owen's 8th birthday. We planned a party at Clara's, balloons, a superhero cake, kids running wild. Jillian brought a model rocket kit, Owen's eyes lighting up as he unwrapped it. We worked together, not as a couple, but as parents, setting up games, snapping photos. Owen hugged us both, his joy a fragile thread. After, Jillian handed me a letter. Read it later, she said, then left. I opened it that night, Owen asleep, Clara's house quiet. Shane, I broke everything. Sean was an escape, a way to feel alive when I felt small. I didn't know he was a crook, but I should have. I'm rebuilding for Owen, for me. I don't expect forgiveness. Just know I see you. The man I lost. I folded it, my chest heavy. It wasn't absolution, but it was something. Weeks later, I saw Sean on the news, indicted, his mugshot hollow. I felt no victory, just closure. Jillian and I co-parented, not as lovers, but as allies. We took Owen to the planetarium, laughed when he pointed at Mars. I didn't love her anymore. The man who did was rebuilt, tougher, wiser, but I respected her fight to be Owen's mom. My revenge was clean. I exposed Sean's scam, let Jillian's lies burn her dreams. He lost his freedom. She lost her illusion. I kept Owen, my strength, my truth. This isn't about heroes or villains. It's about choices, consequences, and the quiet power of moving forward. I watch Owen now, launching his rocket in the backyard, and know I did right by him. But I wonder, when someone who broke you fights to change, do you shut them out forever, or leave a crack in the door? Not for them, but for the boy who needs you both? You're here because this story meant something. Don't scroll away without leaving a like, a thought, and your subscription. Revenge Forge is where real stories find their voice, and yours.